So I got a dream that I'm gonna be at the top of the scene. On every screen, making my presence something to be seen, yeah. I'll make them all see that I could be anything I wanna be. If you got a dream, then you need persistence and lots of belief, yeah. Yo, don't take that negative energy, I replace that. I just wanna be me, I don't fake that. I just wanna be free, yeah, chase that. I got a new obsession, it's helping and teaching and giving everyone a lesson. It's living and winning and building something that's impressive. I don't wanna do the same thing, I wanna.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Waylander Gaming. It's me, Oshunzi here, and I'm joined tonight by the one, the only Lotus, as we head into another action-packed evening of the Academy matches. So the first matches are going to be Immortal Order versus the Foundlings. It would have been against Mlbb fighters, but they are having some technical difficulties, so we did have another squad just fill in so we can get the games rolling and, of course, keep you viewers entertained. But Lotus, how are you feeling about tonight?
Well, tonight is the first time I'm casting for the Academy matches, so I'm really interested to be able to see all the action that has been going on here. Also, have my squad as the first match of the game, so I'm pretty excited for the evening. How about you?
Nah, I'm always excited, always excited. I mean, it's all action when my team plays. I mean, I love it to support my team, but also having first action, for the first action coming through live on my phone, seeing how they do and what things go from there. So I'm very excited to see this. And the Foundlings, of course, one of the new squads to the 5-man scenes. And with them starting to feature in the Academy as well, I'm looking to see massive improvements coming out from their side. And also Immortal Order, looking to see if the training they did this week is going good and if everything is ready, if they are ready to rumble.
Sure. However, is the screen in reverse? Because the Foundlings said they wanted to go right, however, everybody is going left.
I don't know. It might be that the screen is in reverse without us knowing, but who knows? Maybe they meant to say left and they just typed right. I mean, it's right to go left and it's never left to go right, so I don't know.
However, this is not a drifting match.
That is true. That is true. All right. But let them go left. Let them have their first pick, and then we go from there.
So, with the Foundlings having won the coin toss and going to the left side, right side, however it is, we can then start with the bans of the first game. So, this match, as mentioned before, it doesn't really count as a totally match of the league, more like a warm-up match for the teams, and just a good starting game. As we do see the Lucas and the Carry banned from the side of the Foundlings.
So this definitely beckons a question. I mean, Lucas is a very, very good ban overall, but with them banning out that Carry, that might set up the draft. They want to go a heavy frontline tanky lineup, so we know that anything can happen in that regard.
That is true. However, like Carry is in the gold lane, Lunox can also work in the mid lane to be able to burst on the tanks. So, who knows? Immortal Order might also pull a rabbit out of the hat.
No, that's true. And I mean, if you look at the jungle, there's also the Alpha that can get picked up. That is also a very overall good deal in that regard.
That is true, Lucas. So for the bans for everybody was Lucas, Carry, Joy, and Suyu. Immortal Order is definitely taking out their strong meta junglers. So
PTSD about Keton Sonata.
We can definitely expect General Cho to give most players in this game PTSD.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, with that bands getting out of the way, we are ready to head into the first match of the evenings. The Foundlings versus Immortal Order. Let's go.
So for the first game, just by knowing the teams alone, who do you think stands a better chance? Especially because you have a lot of information on both of them.
All right. So honestly, it all depends on how they play. I mean, the Foundlings has made a massive improvement over the last few weeks. I mean, they started with banning out Mia and banning out non-meta heroes, and they also did usually go for the non-meta picks, but they made a massive improvement in the five-man scene. Immortal Order has been around quite a while, but this is, of course, some of our new members that are featuring. So they still need to work out the team synergy and how everything's going in that regard. But overall, I think it might be an exciting match. But the first band's coming out, Foundlings banning out the Sicilian and Immortal Order going for that Zushan ban.
So Immortal Order might be going for a high loss pick. And we know that a lot of Immortal Order's members can play the high loss very well.
So it's a very good flex pick opportunity if a lot of your members can play Hylos. I mean, he's one of the tanks that can go both into the goal XP lane as well as into the roam position. So it all depends on what you need at that time. As we do see Immortal Order banning out that higher booster. The Foundlings did miss their second ban, but maybe it's a strategy leaving out that ban as Boss Booth picks out the Gatso as the first pick for the Foundlings. That is an amazing pick to have as your first pick.
That is true. However, they could have gone for some other good junglers, but let's see what their plan is. Leonardo and Andre getting to give the response picks.
Definitely. Oh, beautiful. Kalia left open and they are taking that. They swaps out for the Gizora. So that's a Granger and a Kalia. Two very good meta heroes getting picked up. Sun Moon not waiting, picking up that Pupil and Koopa. So Popol is a very situational hero. Very good to lock down a lot of the mobility heroes. But if he gets bursted down, there's a lot of trouble coming out for that side. As Kev with the next pick for the side of the Foundlings.
Hunting to go for the Samus. Recently, Samus has been getting a lot more popular, and the more we see him, the more we actually know how sustainable he is with a lot of damage. So that's not a bad pick.
Now, overall, I mean, Samus, if he gets farmed, if he gets to that early game lead, he's a menace to deal with. I mean, he has an insane lifesteal potential, heavy attack speed, burst damage. So if he doesn't get countered, he's a good hero to have. And immune, once again, picking up that glue. As you know, that's one of his signature heroes to play. If he doesn't get countered by the Vexana or the Faramir, then he's a menace to deal with, that glue.
However, picking up Vexana in this lineup does make things difficult for the Foundlings because the Granger will easily be able to burst her down if he is fed enough, and Kalia can also easily target her. Sparks are banned by the side of Immortal Order.
That's an interesting ban. I mean, Faza is a menace overall in the competitive scene. Not the ban I would have gone for. I mean, we do still have a lot of meta junglers open, and you need something that's able to keep your front line and your back line safe. So not a bad ban, but I would have rather gone for something like the Faramir maybe. But the Foundlings banning out that Harley. A good ban overall, being able to melt down any squishy, but once again, that is not a meta pick you see often, but I don't hate on any hero. As Hysteria picks up the Aurora.
The Aurora could pair very nicely with the Glue and the Kalea, so that's a good pick. However, Boss wanting to go for the Nana and KLB 100 opting for that Martis.
It's been a while since I've seen a Martyrs in the five-man scene. As you know, Martyrs has fallen off a bit because his late game uh, doesn't do a lot of damage, but he opts not to go for that, going for the Droid in the jungle. So we've seen Droid feature a lot in this case, but usually you feature him as the roamer, but seeing a Droid on jungle might be interesting, especially going up against a Granger or even the X-Borg being picked up from an Immortal Order. So Immortal Order opting for a very sustainable team fight, as where the Foundlings are going for high burst potential. So it's interesting to see how this game will fare off. But look at the drafts alone. Which of these teams would you favor going into the game?
Immortal Order does have that team fight capability, but like you said, the side of the Foundlings does have that burst and damage. So, however, team fight usually wins in an MLB match, so I'm going with the Immortal Order pick, unbiasedly.
unbiased, yeah. So that's a very good draft overall. If the Foundlings has the ability to just get past the trio front line, get onto that Granger, get onto the Aurora, we might see a game changer. But if Immortal Order plays it well and keeps the damage away from their backline heroes, we might see a good game for them coming up. But as we head into the game, so this is, of course, once again, the first match of the evenings. Viewers, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Support us for more amazing action-packed games.
However, not going to lie, I do hope to see this chain setup between the Nana, the Gato, and the Jawhead, because that can actually prove quite lethal.
Definitely. Both teams starting on the XP lane side. Andre opting to not go for that lava golem, rather doing the fast rotation. So that might show us that there might be a small engage coming here, as there's a lot of poke coming in onto that Kalia. But as you know, Kalia has a lot of sustain in the early game, almost getting deleted out, but gets back safety. So we'll see a contest here. Andre is going for the litho, just hang around the mid bush, and they decide to go for that litho. And that's a retry out. Andre not done yet, going into that backline. Boss move very low. Andre go for the engagement there onto that small buff with a Jawhead. Gets the steal onto that small crab. So that's no level 4 for the side of the Foundlings.
Is it just me, or does it seem that Andre is going to try to do that counter jungling that was taught in the academy class?
Yeah, no, it definitely looks like he's going for that counter jungle strategy. Although wasting that retry on the litho, it's a good overall, but you would rather want to save that for the jungling bait. But a beautiful cameo from the glue. Is he going to steal that buff? Goes onto it. He doesn't get the buff yet, so that's a Droid on level 4 as both teams disengage to set up for the turtle. Turtle spawning up in 15 seconds.
Right now, both teams are already making sure to be here on time for Turtle, making sure to keep it a 4v4. However, one of the teams might get impatient, trying to get a kill, just to get the odds in their favor. Leia taken down by Banana.
Beautiful Last Insanity coming out for the X-Borg, getting that double kill for Immortal Order. Hysteria with that cheeky flicker, knowing a passive is up, getting a 3-for-1 exchange coming out from Immortal Order. So this gives them the opportunity to have a free turtle in this match. As you know, Droid is already low. Louis going in for the jungle evade as well, just keeping them busy. We do see the split coming out. He's onto that Droid and dead, down for the count. Immortal Order not done yet. Last Insanity onto 2. Will he get that kill? It pops up, and that's a Nana dead from the glue. So that's another 2-for-0 exchange coming out from Immortal Order. While this is all happening, Granger is having a free farm here in the bot lane, getting that gold shield almost completely depleted.
However, the Granger would definitely want to make sure that the Popple doesn't get fed, because once a Popple is fed enough, he can easily burst down the Lord, Towers, and Turtles.
Beautiful. We did see a tsunami slam onto Pupil, follow up from the Aurora, and that's a marksman down for the count. And that might signal a tier 1 turret going down in the bot lane. Nana being very aggressive here in the mid lane, getting caught out by the Kalia in the glue combination with Aurora. And that's a tower down and a kill onto that Nana. So that's a 1-for-0 exchange coming out from Immortal Order. As they do start to zone the enemy, they really want to get this mid lane tower down. Oh, beautiful solo kill from the Granger onto that Droid. And Immortal is once again in position for this. Pupil, how is it going to go? Does he sense the danger? Gets out Kalia into the line and doesn't even use the ult. Oh, beautiful flicker coming out. That's a Gatu with the Avatar of God in onto one, but he rather goes back. So that's another kill coming out from Immortal Order.
Right now, Immortal Order is really going for the kills, making sure to inhibit the side of the Foundlings farming up in any way. And 4 minutes into the game with an 8 kill advantage.
Beautiful. We did see another kill here from the glue onto that Thammers. While that gets taken out here, we do see Granger into the position here. Kalia to support him, and that's another kill. Lost Insanity here onto 2. He gets a kill onto the Pupil. Gatu's very low. Nana as well. That's another kill for the Granger. So that's a double kill coming out for Immortal Order as they do try to force this mid lane turret.
So 13-1 in only almost 5 minutes in the game. This is a bit unexpected to see. However, we do see the second turtle up, but it does not look like Immortal Order will be contesting. They'd rather push for these turrets.
I mean, you want to get the slow push started before you go for the objective, as you know, that gets a little bit more lane pressure and freedom for your team to easily take that Lord without contention. They did take that Lord here, and Pupil is in a lot of danger here, but gets out safely. While that happens, we do see Tsunami Slam onto that Droid, gets pulled back. We do see the Avatar of God and onto 2. While that all happens, we do see the Perishing Glacier. They continue this team fight as well. Beautiful kill onto the Gato as well. They're not done. Pupil and Nana is very low, but Thammers here from the sidelines. Is he going to engage? Beautiful. So that's a tier 1 turret going down for Immortal Order. And that happens. Louis into the mix. Thammers tries to get into the backline, but gets deleted. And Pupil once again in a lot of danger. Leo just healing himself out with that passive stacks. So beautiful engagement here. Another clean team fight coming out from Immortal Order.
However, the Foundlings can still have a chance. They definitely need to just stay more in the back line and not get caught up by this lethal Ghidorah.
Beautiful. So once again, he does take down that Nana, and the Avatar of God used defensively just to get back to safety. While this is all happening, we do see a little split push coming out. Immune just securing that top lane turret while the minions is crushing down the bottom lane. There's a 2v3 engagement here. We do see that Pupil commits the ultimate, and that's another stun here. We do see the Droid into the mix. Last Insanity has been popped onto 3. Ghidorah takes down the Droid, and that's another kill. Will we see the triple kill? Beautiful. So Ghidorah gets a kill, but gets blasted by that vengeance from the Gato. So that's a 2-for-1 exchange in the favor of Immortal Order.
Right now, the Foundlings, if they want to get another chance, they definitely need to check the micromanagement, as we did see the Nana struggling to just get her ult onto the Immortal Order. So this makes things a lot more difficult for them, as Immortal Order is beating them mostly by micromanagement.
Beautiful engagement here. We do see Avatar of the Guardian into that freezing glacier. The Aurora takes down that Droid. While that's all happening, Blue is just bursting down this Thammers, getting another kill. And that's the third turtle game for Immortal Order. Pupil tried to contest, but was taken down in that exchange.
So, almost 8 minutes into the game, Immortal Order does have a 13k gold lead along with a 22 kill lead advantage, going 24-2.
Definitely showing their dominance. They had an early game lead and kept that pressure going. Do you see them going here for that tier 2 turret in the top lane? We do see engagement here from the glue onto that Nana. Just gets his stun out. Damage getting deleted in the meanwhile underneath the turret. Do you see the split onto that Nana and takes it down? Joy just throwing him Avatar of God and onto no one. He tries to get that immune poked up. Leonardo is ready to get that Tsunami Slam popped up. Koopa gets taken down as well, and there's a flicker from Popol as well.
As we do see the Ghidorah already on 58 stacks on the Sky Piercer, this definitely does make taking out the enemies a lot easier for him. So the Popple, Koopa, and Nana definitely need to stay in the back right now. They can't afford any more losses.
Beautiful engagement here. We do see that freezing glacier into the tsunami slam after Nana committed her ultimate. Glue's into the mix, getting that stun. Split is open. We do see another kill coming out here from Immortal. Triple kill from the Ghidorah. Will he get that Maniac onto Nana? No, she falls away, not giving Ghidorah that Maniac he wants so desperately. So that was a 4-for-nothing exchange coming out from Immortal Order. So we definitely need the Foundlings to show a bit more patience in this regard. They are currently having a 15k gold deficit, along with a 28 kill deficit as well. We do see that Flicker coming out immune onto the backline. We do see Avatar of God landed onto that one. Freezing Glacier underneath the turret. That's another kill onto that Gatu. So that was 3 ultimates committed and 1 kill. So the Foundlings, 2 kills was taken down. So the Foundlings definitely need to show a little bit more patience, getting farmed up before they engage into this massive team fights.
As we do see Immortal Order going for that first Lord of the game, and they will definitely be able to get it without contest. However, if the Foundlings also want an extra chance, they need to get the lanes unevenly pushed.
Oh, beautiful engagement here on Nana. She commits the ultimate as well as the Molina, but gets taken down in respect. So that was a beautiful pickup kill here from Immortal Order, but Poople in a lot of danger, trying to split push here, but he does not sense Immortal Order. They're coming here, 2 people coming out. We do see Aurora onto Poople with a 1-2 combo, and not committing the ultimate. Flicker into the wall. Andre is just standing here giving Aurora that solo kill. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, once again, Avatar of God in onto 1, but gets deleted. We do see that Thamus onto that Granger along with the Joy. That's another pick-off kill from the Foundlings as they do try to melt down this Lord. Nana's ultimate has been committed, but the Lord did charge. That's a inhibitor down for the side of Immortal Order. So definitely with that Ghidorah being down, we do see beautiful Tsunami Slam followed up with that Glue ultimate. So that is the 2nd kill coming out. Will the Foundlings be able to defend this? They do see the Poople ultimate onto Kalia. Kalia gets taken down. Glue in a lot of... Thamus in a lot of danger, gets deleted by the Glue. They do not get back. They do still continue this team fight. Nana's ultimate has been committed. Glue just trying to get up that stacks, but knows the Gatu is here. They need to play safe.
However, we did see Gato using Avatar of Guardian defensively, and Glue and Aurora doesn't really get a chance to end this Nexus, so they'll have to wait for the next waves to come through.
Definitely. I see a lot of times Poople does commit that ultimate to clear the lanes. You should really save that to try to lock down one of the damage dealers of Immortal Order. But overall, they definitely need to farm up. They are a little bit behind on gold, and Immortal Order not giving up this pressure, keep stealing all the jungle creeps. So they just need to stay in base, just keeps the lane pushed out, get farmed up, and then try to take the fight. Because the next Lord will definitely go uncontested once again, and then it all comes down to the massive base defense.
However, do you think Immortal Order will be waiting for that Lord, or will they go full in with just the minions pushing?
It might be either or. It all depends on what they are planning. Do you have the ability to go for that end at this case? But in that regard, I mean, you never want to underestimate any team, no matter the gold lane. One mistake can cost you the whole game.
That is true, as we have seen so on the other matches of the stream. However, another poking begins here in the base of the Foundlings.
Oh, but that's a last insanity onto Poople. Poople gets taken down. We do see Avatar of God in onto 1. But meanwhile, we do see Joy committing his ultimate, but gets taken down. We do see the Tsunami Slam coming out. The X-Borg with the Immortality Pop. Granger gets another kill. We do see the last insanity once again onto 1. They get the kill onto the Gatu. And that's another Sky Piercer proc, ending up this game. And that was GG's to the side of Immortal Order.
Victory!
However, from the Foundling side, you can see they definitely tried. And as always, there is a lot of room for improvement, but they definitely have improved since entering the 5-man scene.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, we are seeing already a lot of better picks coming out from the side of the foundings as they did practice. I mean, before they started, they have never even faced a five-man team before. And the first game was a dominating game against them, ending the match, I think it was just past just under the 9-minute mark. And in this game against Immortal Order, they already got to the 30-minute mark, defending beautifully, and the team comp has improved massively. So if they keep this progress going, this is definitely going to show them they are a force to be reckoned with. Just keep training, keep fighting, anything can happen.
That is true. In the meantime, viewers, we'll be getting the second group of members online in a minute.
Definitely, definitely. So that is, of course, the second team will be, once again, if I'm not mistaken, it will be Nonagon Alliance that will play against. They're playing against Econ, Eschaton Sonata, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you are right. And then the third match will be Pandora's Code Red versus Alchemy X. So relatively experienced teams in the five-man scene getting to go against each other.
Definitely, definitely. But there's going to be an interesting match coming out. We did see Eschaton Sonata having a dominating performance in the academy matches so far. And that definitely sums up what we are going to expect for the MSA Cup. As you know, the MSA Cup does start the 13th of June. If you, the viewers, still want to sign up your team, join the Waylander community. The links are in the description. Join our WhatsApp group. There is the links to the sign up sheets. Sign up your team and show us what you are made for. The sign up does close the 6th of June. So join us on the Waylander WhatsApp and we will share all the information you need for that upcoming tournament. So overall, it's going to be a impactful month coming out for Mlbb on the Waylander community. There is a lot of games and streams coming out, a lot of tournaments we will be featuring. So just stay tuned and wait for all the action to happen.
So for the side of Nonagon Alliance, I haven't seen them play much. So what is your opinion on them so far, as you have seen some of their academy matches?
So we of course did wait. We are going to cast the MSA Cup, Rika. If I'm not mistaken, Waylander does cast the MSA Cup all the way from the group stages right through the whole action-packed tournament. So to answer your question, Lotus, so we have featured Nonagon Alliance before in the Juice X Clash. That's a small friendly tournament they host a lot of the times, and they did show them competence to feature in the five-man scene and constant improvement also featuring. So currently they still have one or two things to sort out. That's why they are in the academy to learn from the master himself, Mr. Waylander. But I have to say, massive improvements. They are also a team that, if they get that sorted out, they will be a force to be reckoned with.
And as for Eschaton and Sonata, we already all know a lot about them. But how well do you think Nonagon Alliance will be going up against Eschaton and Sonata?
So this definitely comes down to the play style. So, of course, we have featured Econ a lot, and they are having a dominating performance thus far. But, I mean, if you play the correct lineup, you know, every jungler has the rotation. Every team has their play style. So if you do enough preparation and homework, it will be a tight match. It all depends on if its homework has been done, if they are ready to face up. That all depends. As you know, Alvi is one of the newly formed. He's not new to the squad. He's joined, I think, about 2-3 months back. But this is one of the few games he's featuring as a jungler for Econ, and of course, he's made a very, very impactful game thus far.
That is good to know. Now, for the meantime, as we wait for Nonagon Alliance, Ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget to leave your vote on who you think will win. And do not fret because as mentioned before, there will be a third match coming in, Pandora's Code Red versus Mlbb X. Pandora's Code Red has also been in the 5-man scene for a while.
Definitely. I mean, they were actually the B team for Pandora's Box. But as you know, what happened is Pandora's Box was disbanded. They moved all their members back to Pandora's Code Red. So they have featured a lot. They have a lot of potential, a lot of great players. And the team synergy between them is improving as well. So overall, Pandora's Code Red is definitely a team you have to watch out for in that regard.
I see. Now, as there are some technical difficulties for the pause of the screen, so we can't play the cool Netflix songs.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't play the epic intro made by a Dark Dream Entertainment's Mr. Skarpskinkel himself. But in meanwhile, don't fret. You can listen to my lovely voice and Lotus's amazing vocals while we wait for the team to load in.
Shall we go with opera, soprano? What do you think?
Nah, I think throw opera. Opera might be good.
Which kind of opera? There's Italian opera, American opera. We stay away from Chinese opera.
Like the fact that you know there's different types of opera, that makes me question what type of music do you listen to. I mean, no one listens to opera by choice. I mean, I myself, I'm a metalhead, so I love my metal, my rock. I also do have a hidden artist I like that I'm not going to share. Everyone has that one guilty pleasure, but that's definitely not opera for me.
My guilty pleasure would be cupcakes. However, Nonagon Alliance is coming into the lobby. Then we can start with the Academy matches officially for tonight.
Awesome, awesome. So, of course, with Econ being first in the lobby, they once again have the option to call the coin flip heads or tails. And that, of course, secures them the first or second pick. I mean, that can make a massive impact on the draft if you get first or second pick, because you know which meta heroes you want to pick up beforehand. And that, of course, does change. If you don't have the first pick, you don't want to leave one of the main metas open of the enemy team for contention. In that same regard, if you go second pick, you know, you have two choices to go for in regards with the meta pick. So that definitely does impact the draft, is that one major coin flip that comes up.
However, if a person has the right side of the lobby, they also get the left pick. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. So if you get the second pick, you automatically gets the last pick. So a lot of teams have strategized. As you know, Fanny is a menace in the scene, but she does get easily countered by lockdown heroes. There's the Cho, you get the Kufra is okay, but the Franco is also a very good counter. So if you have last pick, you definitely want to opt in for maybe going for that Fanny pick. Because, you know, if you are last pick, you don't have to worry about any counters. You can see everything your enemy has picked thus far.
That is true. If I got the right side of the lobby, I would definitely say that either the roamer or the jungler has to go left, so that they can pick a hero that counters as much people as possible.
Yeah, that's also true. That's usually your flex pick or your famous pick. So, as you know, I am one of a few players that love playing Atlas, but once again, Atlas is a hero that's so easily counterable. So that's why if we have last pick, I'll usually opt to go maybe for the Atlas pick, because you know there's nothing that can counter you afterwards, and you can look for the entire game what happens before you pick up that easy set.
True. However, Atlas, a lot of people want to use Atlas in the 5-man scene, but as you said, he gets countered easily. And from what I understand, Atlas takes a lot of micro skills. So mistiming, miscalculation is very easy.
Definitely. I mean, As you know, he's one of the heroes that is not a frontliner roam. So in the early game, you do struggle a lot if the enemy has an early game damage comp, because you can't frontline for your team. You're more of a from the back line, go in to conceal, flicker everyone, and just kill them from there. So if their team has a very aggressive set comp, you're going to struggle in that regard.
So it definitely would be better if you have an Atlas roam that you definitely need a tankier jungle or a tankier XP to make up for that less sustainable Atlas. As the bans do come through, Xborg and Joy banned from the side of Nonagon Alliance, Chip and Glue banned from the side of Econ Escaton Sonata.
So overall, very, very good bans coming out from both teams. We do see Xbox seeing a lot more play these days after that small armor buff he gained in the early game, and that is a definite game changer coming out. But after the new update, he's going to once again get another buff on his ultimate. So then he might even become a semi-meta contestant. You never know what's going to happen.
That is true.
As
As
we
we
head
have
into the ban, Eschaton Sonata does have the ability to ban out the first hero in the lobby, with Alvi getting that opportunity.
So, what ban? I think they might go for a jungle ban. Jungle ban usually works, but they do miss
Oh,
out on the first ban. Maybe a
that's
stretch dive
unfortunate.
movement?
It might be because that forces Nonagon to waste another ban for meta, as they do ban out that Lucas. So Lucas a very, very good game overall. And in that regard, yeah, I mean, you'd never want to face a good Lucas.
Experience the
That is true,
youthful
especially with that
suffering.
high sustainability. Granger banned out from the side of Escaton Sonata.
Another good ban. I mean, we did see Granger in the previous match, and he was a definite menace. So even after they did nerf his ult a little bit, he's fallen out a little bit out of the meta, but still a very, very good good contender pick. As Faza will be the final ban from Nonagon Alliance. So there's a lot of meta heroes left open. We do see still Suyu is left open, Kalia is open, Badang is open. But now the question beckons, okay, the question does not beckon. They did pick up that Kalia in the hands of Gyro.
And once again, the team goes for the Farsa. However, Farsa can be easily countered. So I think they would have been better off banning out a Zushan or a Sicilian from the side of Nonagon Alliance.
Now, if they want to stick to the mage band, that is also very good in that regard. But Stoned alone, going for that Diggy pick. So, when last have you seen Diggy in the 5-man scene?
Of iron.
Your team
Bones of
is
I don't think I have seen him there. I do remember from the M5 series when there was a player, his name was Sawu, picking up the Diggy, and he destroyed the enemy team. Therefore, it was given a nickname, Sawu Much Pain.
I mean, Dig is a irritation to go through. I mean, that ult can save the whole team from a set, and in that regard also is very annoying with that pullback. So if you don't have multiple mobility skills and he gets you locked down with that time jump, the second skill of his, that will be game changer. But Storm Gaming picking up that Gatu in response with having a support, so you definitely need an XP laner that's very tanky in the front line. And then Stormbreaker going for that heal. Alvi picking up his signature Suyu. And Dark System swapping out Wesley for the 1-1. So very good picks coming out from both teams.
However, this is a reminder for Storm Gaming once he rewatches this live. If he does miss the avatar of Guardian, everybody will see it.
So we definitely need to make Natalia clips where everyone miss ultimate Natalia, a funny clip. I mean, we've seen a lot of people just throwing their ult on skills or in random bushes if there's no one close by. It's always funny to see. But No, nonetheless, Nonagon Alliance with the final ban banning out that Melissa and Econ going for the Hayabusa ban.
So definitely making sure to take out a strong jungler just in case. However, I was told that if you take a Hayabusa out in the late banning phase, the team would definitely want to go for a more stationary marksman like an Ixia or Leslie. So we might be seeing one of those.
Escom Boy picking up the Sicilian. So very good late game damage coming out from the side of Nonagon. They definitely need a bit more early game potential in the side of the jungle because both 1-1 and Cecilia needs to farm out. But Demon Slayer pick up that Valentina. So that's a very good hero to have. I mean, you have the Avatar of Guardian, you have the Diggy with a time ultimate, and that's a good hero. A lot of ultimates to counter, and Monarch going for that Irithal. I don't know how I feel about the Irithal versus the 1-1.
It does work sometimes, but most of the time I don't say it would work. However, Dark System wanting to go for that Saber, I don't think we get to see him often in the 5-man scene.
Saber is one of those heroes. Is certainly good for a counter pick. If you have one player like a fan or something that's usually dominating the game, you pick up a Saber, but overall you don't see him in the 5-man team. There's a lot of better picks to lock down enemies and one-shot ultimates them. But who knows? You never throw out any player. Maybe that's a new meta, is the Saber on the jungle.
That is true, as long as someone as mage players like myself do not play him. I have tried him out yesterday. I was the reason that our team lost.
I mean, Saber is the easy hero, but once you go in with your kills, then you mean nothing afterwards. But overall, both teams having a very interesting drafts. I definitely favor the Econ draft, having a bit more team fight orientated heroes. Both with pick off, frontline, very balanced. And the Nonagon team comp, interesting team comp with that Saber as well as the Diggy. So it might work for them, it might not. It all comes down on how you execute it.
That is true. Also, the side of Nonagon Alliance, I do say would say that they have a bit more of the. If you need to focus a bit more on your own skills instead of team fights. Just because you're also a new team, so synergy isn't always the best thing in your composition. So you also need to be able to be sustainable on your own.
Definitely. But in that regard, both teams does start out with the XP lane buff. Of course, we do know Siu will have a much faster rotation over the Saber. So we might see another counter invade coming on to the small buff. Escom Boy just having a free farm with his Diggy there. Gyro putting a lot of pressure here onto the rotation. So are we going to see that early invade? Are they going to go for that safer jungle gold lane gank? But we do already see Siu going there for that invade. So that's another counter jungle rotation we're seeing tonight.
And the 1-1 is not in the best position right now. But however, we do know that the Sugi would not go for a gank, but mostly just for that jungle invade, like you said.
So there's a stolen buff there coming out for the side of Econ, as well as the first blood onto that Diggy. So that Diggy was in a lot of danger here, but Saber once again just rotating to the gold lane, trying to get his farm up, but that buff was stolen out. So that gives Econ the early game advantage to dominate this first turtle of the match.
And right now, the side of Nonagon Alliance, they're playing very safely. They know that their opponents are very strong and very clever, so they definitely need to play safe and to farm where they can and not get caught out the whole time.
But once again, Alvi here with another jungle steal here. Engagement from the Hilda onto that Saber. Saber down for the count. They're not done yet. Hilda is still deep into the enemy territory, but they do fall back to take this objective. So at the 2-minute mark, they're already at 2 kills advantage and almost a 1k gold lead. And the first turtle of the match, uncontested. Oh, once again, engagement onto Stoned Alone. Another kill onto that Diggy. Alfie going for that invade onto the jungle, knowing the Saber's level 3. He goes for that full burst out. And that's another jungle cap stolen from by Eschaton Sonata.
And right now, the Hilda is still deep in enemy territory, taking out the Diggy.
So, as you know, Diggy is very, very squishy in the early game. So, you definitely need to play a bit more safer and knowing when to get out of position, when to get out of the bushes. But we do see engagement here onto the gold lane. We do see, of course, once again, the 1-1 in a deep position, not getting that kill. We do see that Tsunami Slam and Valentina just securing that kill. So, that's another kill from the side of Econ in this early game rotations.
The only problem that I do really have with the Nonagon Alliance composition is the fact that they only have one frontliner and he's stuck in the XP lane.
That's definitely unfortunate. I mean, usually if you want to go for support, you need a frontliner that can rotate easily, or you need to have a jungler that's also a semi-frontline. But once again, we do see here the camp onto the gold lane. We do see that skill shot coming out from the Suyur. Retri has been popped, and he gets that kill onto 1-1. But Nonagon Alliance camping into the bush. We do see the Sanguine Claws onto Jaro, but not committing to that engagement.
As Hilda almost got taken out in the enemy's turret.
Oh, we do see the triple sweep coming out from the Saber, but Gatu in a lot of danger, gets taken out by the Hilda. Hilda is still very low, but gets to safety. As you know, Hilda is a tanky girl. She has the ability to just heal herself back up, not worrying about the enemy. So you once again going for that jungle invade, and does get another buff. Kalia does engage onto that Diggy once again, just poking out and rather falling back and going for that objective. So that will be another uncontested turtle coming out from Eschaton Sonata.
And right now this Diggy is getting hunted down all the time, just not being able to get anywhere near the side of Eschaton Sonata. And the Saber's farm is very much lower in comparison to Alvi's, with almost a 2k difference between the two junglers.
That's a massive, massive lead. I mean, you did see a lot of invasions coming out from Eschaton Sonata, just battling down, keeping that Saber under control. I mean, as soon as Saber's farm, he's going to be a menace. But we do see engagement here onto the gold lane. Once again, Diggy caught out and deleted. We do see Escom Boy into the mix. We do see that Bat's Feast getting committed, but to no avail. And Eschaton Sonata, knowing they got their pick off, rather falls back and go on farming.
As you mentioned earlier, Nonagon Alliance does have that late game composition, so if they just make sure to buy enough time for them, make sure Eschaton Sonata does not end the game early, then they can farm. Sicilian can get his stacks, 1-1 can get her necessary items, and the Gato can get the sustainable items that he needs. Then they can maybe turn the tide.
That might be the game changer switch, but they're definitely not letting out the pressure. Once again, the Hilda is onto that Saber. He gets a full combo locked down and ultimate committed. That was another kill onto that Saber from Eschaton Sonata.
And right now, the way in which the XP laner and the mid laner rotates, I'm loving how the team works together from the side of the Snapper.
Oh, stolen Avatar of Guardian under the turret, taking down the Gatu. Alfie just pushing out the turret. And that's another kill and the first tier 1 turret of the game. While that all happens, we do see engagement here. We do see onto the Navi Slam onto Diggy. Diggy gets deleted once again. And that was also the Purify committed from Sicilian.
However, we do see Wesley almost going for that turret, but does know that danger is on his way and removing himself from the equation.
Oh, Sicilian just getting out of position, not waiting for his team to check the bushes and gets deleted. So at the 7-minute mark, the final turtle is up. But Eschaton Sonata already with almost 6k gold lead and a 12 kill advantage. So they might just leave this turtle to switch over to the Lord to get that early game advantage and keep battling down. But we do see the Campion onto the gold lane, but will they go onto the Saber? Yilda already in a very good position, but rather disengages. So once again, onto the Diggy, we do see the ultimate committed, and that's another ultimate wasted. So this might be a free Lord coming out from Eschaton Sonata.
Eschaton Sonata is actually being very clever by going for that Diggy, making sure you waste the ult. So then there's no survival.
Avatar of Guardian onto that 1-1. We do see the Tsunami Slam on Saber, gets taken down. Suyu's into the mix. We do see that crossbow Tang hitting, deleting one, but gets taken down in respect. Yeah, got in a lot of danger here, being the only one left in that top lane. Suyu just poking down skill shot. We do see him comboing Iratal back into the mix. Valentina securing that final kill. And that's a tier 1 turret going down in the top lane. And the first Lord of the match will go uncontested for Eschaton Sonata.
Right now the game reminds me a lot of the game between Immortal Order versus the Foundlings. As the team that was more dominant from the beginning, just make sure to keep that dominance throughout the entire game.
We do see engagement onto Saber. There was 2 ultimates committed to Tsunami Slam as well as the stolen triple slash and gets deleted as well as the buff stolen. So once again, Yilda here onto the Diggy underneath the turret, full combo and takes down the Diggy in the 1v1. Very low, but gets back to safety. So Nonacon definitely needs to play a bit more safe, gets farmed up, and they need to start working as a team. The Gutter's lane is already down, so you can start rotating with the team and start frontlining for Nonacon, because they definitely need that frontline potential and that sustainability that the Gutter brings to the table.
And he definitely needs to keep tanking for the Diggy, who keeps getting targeted.
And while that happens, Suyu once again solo kill underneath the turret and takes down the tier 2 turret. Madra in the bot lane, but as you know, the holy barrier is still up, so that will be a defended inhibitor coming out. But Econ not going for that. They rather want to take all the tier 2 towers down. And we do see another wave battling down the top lane, so we might see an inhibitor getting taken down in the top lane as well.
And with the Valentina once again stealing the Gutter's ult, Eschaton Boy taking down the Hilda. However, Valentina might go again in to initiate another team fight and maybe take Nonagon Alliance down in a full team one. Or try to.
Oh, definitely. I mean, recall spams coming out from Econ. As you did see, the Diggy's ultimate was popped up in that base turret. So that is a few seconds before it's up again. Lord up in 70 seconds. We do see Eschaton Sonata having already an 11k gold lead almost. No, sorry, 10.4k gold lead in their favor, along with a 17 kill advantage heading into the next phase of the game.
However, what I'm liking to see from this side of Eschaton Sonata is the fact that they're trying to keep those lanes synced up. This just keeps the pressure on Nonagon Alliance, so they can't even go to try to contest for Lord or even a Lord steal.
Definitely. Yeah, this will be another uncontested Lord and a massive base defense coming out from Nonagon. So I have to say welcome to all the members of the chat. Nice to see you all here. Special shout out to my 2 friends in the lobby, Hachiman and Rika themselves. And of course, I have to say Angelic Fury, the one that only is also there. And welcome Royal Milk. I saw he's one of the new players that did discover our stream. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more amazing Mobile Legends as well as PUBG actions. There's a lot of different games we feature on the Waylander community.
As another engagement does begin.
Triple slash coming out, but after all just gets deleted from the Tsunami Slam. So definitely the Saber is having a hard time to get into the backline with a lot of stuns and dominating frontline performances coming out from Econ. So that's an uncontested Lord coming out from Econ. So we definitely need to see Econ capitalizing on this Lord, ending the game before Nonagon gets online. You know, they have a lot of late game potential. So once their heroes gets online, it's going to be a much tougher match to end. So they need to use this advantage and secure the Nexus with this Lord.
That is true. However, if Nonagon Alliance can just push these lanes, make them more uneven, and if they can give a good defense, they can give themselves just more of a breather and maybe a second chance to win the game.
Definitely. But they need to start working as a team for that to be able to happen. We do see full engagement onto the top lane. Digger's ultimate was committed, but Wesley into the mix. We do see him just dancing around, but Suyu getting that solo kill onto that Saber. We do see once again the Avatar Guardian did land onto Q. The triple kill for that Saber. Will he get the Maniac? He goes in for that and he gets taken down. That's a Maniac. Will he get the Savage? Will this be the first Savage in the Academy matches? And Alvi does it! Savage for Escoton Sonata as they end out the game in a dominating fashion. GG's.
Victory!
That was well played from the side of Escoton Sonata. However, Nonagon Alliance does have a lot of potential. They just need to get that team synergy up and running.
And definitely the picks also did make a massive difference. I mean, Diggy as well as Saber, not usually picks you see in a 5-man scene. Those were the 2 heroes that got Escoton Sonata farmed in the early game. So if they can get their draft sorted out as well as the team comp, they will be back with a vengeance. As you know, this is the academy classes, so you never know what's going to happen. So Don, so unfortunately, my voice almost ran away. I was so excited, so I almost sounded like a girl at the end there.
I do not think Angelic Fury would appreciate that. In the third match, as we'll be getting the third round's teams, which will be Pandora's Code Red versus Alchemy X.
So this is going to be another interesting match that comes out. We've seen Alchemy X also having a dominating performance thus far in the academy classes. And as you know, both teams are very, very good overall, but it all comes down to how they execute the team fights.
That is true. And especially because PCR doesn't have... They're still figuring things out. And there's not much known about them because they're constantly trying and improving. So they could have more information on Alchemy X than Alchemy X has on them, which could work in their benefit.
Definitely. I mean, it all comes down to homework, defense, discipline, and of course drafting. As you know, they say 70% of a game is won or lost in the drafting screen. The other comes all down to execution. So Pandora's Code Red definitely has a chance to put on the pressure on the side to the side of Alchemy X. It all comes down to how it works out. I mean, overall, GG's, both teams are good. It all comes down to the execution.
That is true. As we do now have both teams into the lobby, we will start with a question.
Seeing a lot of saltiness here in the chat for that Pete Pompey's Mia pick last night. As you know, Mia's another hero you don't usually see doing good in the 5-man scene, but he had a splendor of a match, securing that Maniac and ending the game against Immortal Order last night. So GG's to Pete Pompey's himself. As you know, he did win the previous MVP of the week, but currently the top contender for the MVP of the Academy week is currently Alvi. So, Pete, show me something. Show me you deserve the MVP.
Nah, just as you say that, Pete Pompey himself says he's half asleep.
How can it be half asleep? I mean, we did just see the Sharks was playing earlier tonight. So you didn't watch the Sharks, you didn't watch the Mlbb. What are you doing with your life?
Is Sharks cricket or football?
It's a rugby. It's rugby,
Okay.
Lotus. Don't you watch sports?
No, I do not. The only sports I watch is esports 3 times a year, max. As the first bans of the game do come through, which is Lucas and Zushan.
Lucas and Zushan not seeing the light of day in this week's academy matches. And I see PCR's also responding with the Kalia and the Suyu bans. So overall, good bans coming out from both teams in that regard.
But for the Kalia and Suyu ban, somebody definitely watched the former match of the stream.
I mean, that Kalia and the Suyu was definitely the MVPs in that game. Definitely deserving that laugh. But well, just before we head into the match, just in chat, just say 2 rand for hope for Lotus because she doesn't know rugby. As we head into the next match.
13 to 15 guys on both teams fighting to get a ball on the other side of the field. I'd rather go for 5 people trying to get to the other side of the map and killing the Nexus.
Well said, well said. But as we head into the banning phase, Alchemy X with the first ban into the lobby. Arthur Clown banning out that Angela. Angela, a very interesting ban. You don't see a lot of Angela bans in today's meta.
I mean, usually she's not really worth the ban. You'd rather want to ban the jungler that is paired with her. That being said, Joy being banned out from the side of PCR.
And I mean, if you want to ban the healer support, I mean, Florin being a menace in the current meta. So rather ban the Florin, leave the Angela, ban the Florin. She's much more difficult, as they also ban out the Florin. So they're definitely scared of the healing capabilities from the side of PCR.
However, I don't think supports are that often seen from the side of PCR. They'll usually go with tanky roams, won't they?
So they usually pick up the Carmilla and Sicilian combos, one of the main combinations they do run. And of course, having still PTSD from the previous time, banning out that Leslie from Pete Pompies. As you know, he had a 20-1 with that Leslie.
That is true. And also, he recently got titles with, I think it was the Leslie a few months ago. So, no wonder. Gata, once again, being the first pick.
Gatu is a very, very good pick overall. He's one definitely of the top contention heroes in the 5-man scene. I mean, I myself play Gatu and he's really a menace in the correct hands. But Cyberwolf picking up the Matilda. So one thing I have to say, Matilda, if he plays correctly, if Matilda gets played correctly, she's a dominating game changer. Especially if you pair her with something like a Suyu or a high burst mobility hero as well. Kira responding with that Aurora. Sapolka not waiting for me to finish my sentence, going for that Beatrix. And Arthur Clown throwing us with a Natalia.
Well, you didn't mention a Natalia last match, so... However, he will not be going for the Natalia. Maybe an Atlas?
Atlas is very interesting.
But he could pair well with Gato.
Yeah, so this Atlas definitely having a good setup with it, Gato as well as a Beatrix. That's if he does not get counted. We do know still 3 heroes that PCR can pick up that can counter the Atlas. And of course, one of them being, there's a lot of different counters. Akai is one of the non-meta counters. If you can just delete him and go on for that, I mean, who knows what's going to happen. But Storm Raptor with a final phase 1 pick for PCR, picking up the Brody. Very good pick on the marksman lane.
Does a Brody win a Beatrix in the gold lane?
Yes and no. So Beatrix's range is shorter than Brody, so Brody can definitely poke her out of the lane. And as soon as Beatrix gets that first item, then the game will change. So Brody definitely needs to be aggressive, focus on her early game, and burst it down before she can farm up. Hayabusa getting banned from PCR, and Pete Pompies with a response.
Pete Pompies is definitely an interesting name. Mom asks, who are you playing with? Oh, I'm playing with Pete Pompies.
Trust.
Alpha being banned from Alchemy X. So definitely don't want that counter to the 2 tanks in their team. And let's see what Team Merlin responds with.
What I
So
can
right
tell you,
now-
this alpha ban signifies one pick coming out from Alchemy X, and that would be the Liu Mort.
Oh, so we definitely do get to see the knight in shining armor. However, Team Merlin going for the Baksha.
Your team is picking.
As we have learned,
so
Baksha
this
is good for the counter jungling rotation. So PCR might be going for that.
Definitely. As Pete Pompies picks up the Ollis and Legend locking on to Vexana, changing up to Sicilian. What is he going to pick? But your Ollis is usually either very, very good or very, very bad in a scene. If he gets farmed up, he's a menace. But usually people that pick up Ollis in rank is Dark System users. But as you know, Pete Pompies is already immortal, so he's definitely not Dark System tonight.
And Raven responding with a CC pick. So CC against Gato in the XP lane. That could even things out a bit for the side of PCR. And I'm definitely interested to see the Baksha play from the side of PCR, because Baksha is a really good jungler, especially with that spammable skill too. However, let's see how the match goes.
Definitely. So overall, I have to say I do favor the draft coming out from PCR, but as you know, it's all about execution. If they get this Ollis fed, they're going to have a big problem on their hands.
That is true. And if the Atlas, I'm just gonna say Geta and Sicilian combine their skills and layer the attacks, that could also prove quite lethal to the side of
5
PCR.
seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield.
Angelic Fury asking what was the pre-bans in the lobby.
Deployed.
That would be Lucas, Zushin, Kalea, and Sugyu.
I'll say, as both teams starting on the XP jungle side, having that early game rotation, so we are going to see the fast clearing Ollis against the tanky Baksha. Who will rotate faster? Who will get that invade, and who will get the first blood of the match?
And right now, the Brody, as we do see, he's almost freezing the lane, playing safe, not wanting to get caught up by the Beatrix, because everyone knows even early game Beatrix can still be problematic.
Definitely, and I mean, especially with that rocket spammable, if you don't watch out, you're going to get caught out. And I mean, Atlas already making the rotation, just zoning out this Brody, but Matilda also making the rotation to help her gold lane in that regard.
And right now, Baksha is just silently farming alongside the others doing the same thing. With
we do see engagement here from the Baksha, and they are already onto the Ollis. The damage getting dealt out. That's the first blood going for the side of PCR. But Legend also in position. Kira very low. We do see the flicker getting committed. Arthur Clown back into the line. Brody commits the flicker, but does not take down. So that's a flicker wasted from PCR, but they do get that first kill onto the board.
And with the first turtle of the match being up in 10 seconds, this does give PCR that advantage they need to be able to take the first turtle. However,
Definitely.
X still has a chance to maybe even steal Lord. They'll just have to play clever and maybe definitely get their XP laner to annoy the jungler to give themselves to stall some time.
They definitely need to go for that. But overall, the Ollis does have a better ability to retry steal with that second skill of his over the Baksha. But it all comes down to this engagement here. We do see Pete Pompies does start up the turtle. PCR getting into position. We do see that engagement coming out from the Atlas. getting taken down by the freezing glacier. Pete Pomp is not down. Avatar Guardian landing onto one. We do see Raven in a lot of danger. The continued engagement here, but Redo is very low. Saber in a lot of danger. He commits the circling eagle, takes down that Gatu, and while that happens, Pete Pompis does get low and disengages.
That was a beautiful play. However, even though PCR lost the turtle, they got 2 kills in return. And right now they are in equilibrium when it comes to the gold.
Having a 3-kill advantage with only a 300 gold lead, we do see them rotating onto the gold lane. They definitely need to focus on this Beatrix, get her, stop her from farming up. Bucks are making the rotation here into the bush. PCR in a very good position here to camp out the team. The Beatrix know there's danger, and wow, she walks in, commits a freezing glacier full combo coming out from the Aurora. It gets deleted by Matilda. So she went into no man's land trying to contest the gold grab and paid the price.
When you check the bushes, make sure you check the right spots of the bushes.
So Storm Raptor trying to go for the gold lane, not watching his map, and gets deleted. But that was 2 ultimates committed onto the Brody just to secure that kill. PCR in a good position here to go for this invade onto the blue buff. Will they commit onto it? Will Alchemy X be able to defend this?
However, PCR does have to make sure they don't get caught in narrow spaces.
Definitely. We do see a little bit poke here coming out. Sanguine Claws onto 2. We do see it on from the Gatu coming out. That's Avatar Guardian landing onto 1. We do see them continuing the engagement. Freezing Glacier onto that Gatu. Just getting deleted. But once again, Alchemy X with it re-engage, but not securing any kill. They did save the blue buff, but no kills was traded in that regard. The turtle is up and running. Alchemy X just deleting that turtle. Beautiful engagement. We do see the fatal links onto 2. Pete Pomp is back into the game. Second eagle was not landed. Millen in a lot of trouble. Pete just going for that back and forth. Raven also gets taken down. So that is the 3-for-0 exchange for Alchemy X, and they secured the neutral objective.
And also got a 2k gold lead.
Oh, massive. What a comeback from Alchemy X.
And right now the Brody is being chased into the back of his turret just to be safe from the Beatrix.
Red team turret has been destroyed.
And Alchemy X does secure the first tier 1 turret of the match into the top lane. So this gives their XP laner the ability to start rotating and participating in this team fight. So we might see a bit more aggressive play coming out here. Pete Pomp is onto the Aurora. We do see Freezing Glacier onto 2, but is he going to be in danger? Circling Eagle coming out. Aurora gets deleted. Merlin also into the mix, but Cyber gets taken down. So Ona's just being a menace, dominating this game. Gatu getting a double kill. So that's a 3-for-0 exchange once again for the side of Alchemy X.
However, it does seem that the CC will be able to take down this top turret,
Blue team turret has been destroyed.
just unevening the map control a little bit more again.
Been destroyed.
As we do say that, we do see Beatrix getting that solo kill onto that Brody and taking the turret. So that's all tier 1 turrets down from the side of Alchemy, securing the massive map presence and just giving the team the ability to have a bit more control over where the enemy is.
So right now, past the 6.5 minute mark, Alchemy X is already 5k gold ahead of PCR with a 4-kill lead.
Definitely, and we do see this jungle invader onto the red buff. Olas does secure that kill, and that's a massive power spike here. Lead. We do see this spoke onto Saber, onto that Matilda. Will we see the engagement here? Merlin just running around, ultimate committed, but does not fully commit onto that engagement. Oh, fatal links onto 2 into the Avatar of Guardian, killing out that Aurora. We do see that curtain call already landing onto the Gatu, but this all is just having a lack of time deleting the enemy. Gatu gets another kill, so that's a 2-for-0 exchange coming out, as well as the turtle advantage.
However, the side of PCR, they definitely need to stop letting the Matilda frontline and to get vision first, because usually she gets caught out early and then there's mobility loss for the side of PCR. So they definitely need the Baksha and the Cici to face tech
Red team
bushes.
turret has been destroyed.
Definitely. We see another engagement here. Invade coming out from Pit Pompies. He commits the ultimate onto Millen. He just deletes but gets taken back to safety. So that's a jungle seal. Aurora with a full combo. Freezing Glacier. Beatrix just deleting this Matilda. We do see Atlas into the mix. Fatal links onto one and gets deleted. So Beatrix getting a double kill onto that Brody. And that's another 2-for-1 exchange coming from Alchemy X as they do try to delete this mid lane tower.
So right now, PCR is really in a difficult position. However, if Alchemy X continues this aggression, as we can see from their side, they can keep pushing waves to the side of PCR, and if PCR capitalizes on it and gets all the farm that they need, they can turn the game around, because Brody is an early game hero somewhat, but he definitely needs that late game damage.
As soon as Brady gets like 3 items online, he starts being a menace. But I have to say, this Olas is already a massive gold lead ahead, as well as the Beatrix. So PCR definitely needs to fall back, farm a bit, not over-engage. We do see the concealed play coming out from the Atlas. Waited links onto no one. We do see them disengage from the fight. So they try to get the massive pick-off team fight there, not availing. But the Lord is up in 5 seconds, and Alchemy X is in a peak position to take this Lord uncontested.
However, as you mentioned builds earlier, can we actually check the builds for the viewers right now?
I did check it about just before that team fight in the top lane. But let's check it again. So there's of course a lot of back and forth. No Skypiece is being built, so that is beautiful to see. But the Lord was taken uncontested for Alchemy X, and they do keep this pressure. They are going to pop down this middle Holy Shield, but Beatrix just deleting out that Matilda. Beatrix is fade.
And right now, none of the PCR members are strong enough right now to even go near her.
I mean, 2 shots from the rocket and Aurora's on less than a third of HP. So they definitely need to watch out for this. If that Sanguine Claws lands along with the Beatrix, you are down. So we need to see out here. We do see the Mordor charging onto the turret. He gets the turret down. Oh, Fatal Links onto 4. Avatar Garden in response. That's another taunt coming out. And that's a full team wipe coming out for Alchemy X. Maniac for Pete Pompies, and that's GG's for the side of Alchemy. They're securing this in a dominating mid-game fashion.
That was beautiful from the side of Alchemy X, and I was happy to see the Olas doing so well, especially in the 5-man scene. Olas gets a lot of hate, so seeing him do so well.
Yeah, I mean, if a hated hero does good, it's always nice to see. And once again, Pete Pompey showing us unconventional heroes does work sometimes.
As we did see that the Sicilian didn't die even once. And yes, I love it when mage players never die.
Usually the mage players and the marksmen are the 2 that does die the most, because you usually get targeted by the assassin junglers, but no assassins being in that match did mean the mid laners was a bit more safe in that regard.
True. Whenever I play a mid lane mage in the classic, my one and only goal, besides getting the base, is to not die. So
Yeah.
for the matches of the Waylander Gaming Academy tonight, viewers, this one of Pandora's Code Red versus Alchemy X was the last for this evening. However, there will be commencing action in the next week. And as Shroomsy mentioned before, the MSA is starting soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's a lot of action coming up in the next up and coming weeks. But I have to say, for all the teams that participated in tonight's matches, well played. I definitely saw a lot of improvement coming out from this. And definitely in the future, we might see even better improvement in games coming out. But don't fret, the academy is not done yet. So next weekend we will be moving into the knockout stages. So we will be hosting a single elimination bracket for the academy to decide who is the ultimate victors and the best improved players in the academy leagues. But overall, GG's to all teams. But that is all from us tonight on Waylander Gaming. It's me, your boy, Shroomzy, and Lotus. Signing out, sayonara, and good night. Lotus, any last words from your side?
Stay safe, don't do drugs. As well as for the African Conquest Cup, there has been a best of 5 tonight for the upper brackets. Therefore, viewers, if it is still up and running, please do check it out when you have the time.
Definitely. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ring that notification bell just to keep up with all the action on the stream. And that is all from us. Stay safe, good night, and goodbye.
So I got a dream that I'm gonna be at the top of the scene. On every screen, making my presence something to be seen, yeah. I'll make them all see that I could be anything I wanna be. If you got a dream, then you need persistence and lots of belief, yeah. Yo, don't take that negative energy, I replace that. I just wanna be me, I don't fake that. I just wanna be free, yeah, chase that. I got a new obsession, it's helping and teaching and giving everyone a lesson. It's living and winning and building something that's impressive. I don't wanna do the same thing, I wanna be progressive, So I'ma make a new me, a new beast, a true fiend. He's everything that he wants to be. Look in the mirror, what he wants to see is a dude looking back at me. I stay on track, yeah, track things. I'm setting goals, life hacking. I'm steady stacking. I see myself being happy. A better me with a strategy that I'm attacking.
Put to the test and you know I'll lace that. Hit me in the face and I'm hitting right back. I enjoy the chase so I'll stay on track, yeah. I enjoy the race so I'll make that bag. Got a lot of dreams that I'll make come true. Got a lot of things that I wanna do. Got a lot of goals that I wanna prove. And there's not a lot of time so I gotta make moves.
Got things that I wanna do. I got plans, got schemes that I follow through. I make all my games from what I produce. I don't lose, I learn, don't get confused. Peace in the dark cause I work fucking hard. So many nights sitting in the graveyard cause they lost to the grind, but that's fine, that's a start. To do something great, sacrifice is a part of it. It's just the start of it. You can't start then quit, you have to harness this cause energy is bliss. And when I swing I miss, but then I swing and hit. So I'ma swing again and I'ma swing again. Then I'll be taking off cause I don't wait or pause. I got the game unlocked, I never mind the clock. I take the last shot, I got a fast cross. Villain energy cause I'm the last boss.
Test and you know I'll lace that. Hit me in the face and I'm hitting right back. I enjoy the chase so I'll stay on track, yeah. I enjoy the race so I'll make that bag. Got a lot of dreams that I'll make come true. Got a lot of things that I wanna do. Got a lot of goals that I wanna prove. And there's not a lot of time so I gotta make moves.
So I got a dream that I'm gonna be at the top of the scene. On every screen, making my presence something to be seen, yeah.